unable to work for a second time consecutively. If that's not good news, I don't know what is. Something's in the air. Streaming on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different devices. So yeah, I gotta streamline this a little bit because it's cumbersome doing the whole setup, and then Twitch always quits. I thought it was because I had a device in front of it, but now nothing's touching it, and it's still Twitch is having issues with this broadcast. All right, well fuck Twitch. I'll do it one more time. After that, it's no, we're just not gonna give a shit about Twitch at this point. Welcome one, welcome all. Glad you guys could show up. Nice fedora. Not really a fedora. Fedora's got the shorter brim, look totally different. Got a few. Which reminds me of the employee evaluation of the dude with the fedora who threatened to kill people for making fun of him. Is that what you're trying to do? That way you call this a fedora. But yeah, today we're just going to reflect on 2023. Make some predictions for 2024. And at first I got to do the proper thing and admit when I was wrong. I was wrong on a lot of stuff. I remember when COVID rolled out, I was predicting that they would use that as an excuse to take our civil liberties and do all kinds of stuff. It's just now it's just like you look back at it like that's that conspiracy theorist stuff. I said that when they had the vaccine come out untested, I was like, is this not going to work? Or maybe it'll work in a bad way, and that's how they had it planned. You know, I thought that it wouldn't help stop the spread. I thought people would still get COVID, and it would have no benefit of getting injected. But now everybody I know who got the jab, they love it. They never had COVID before. Everybody I know who didn't get it, they're lining up. Me personally, I'm already signed up for 12 different boosters after the initial 2. I'm gonna get them all done on the 1st. That's my New Year's resolution. Get every vaccine and booster that Big Pharma recommends. Pfizer, they're gonna make all kinds of money off of me personally, you know. So yeah, so I was wrong on some stuff. I remember when the Ukraine war started, I was like, it's something shady, you know, because Hunter Biden was out parlaying with some people who were called Nazis. They had a different view of the world. I couldn't understand. And I was saying that he was invested in biological weapons labs, and I thought that the Ukrainian war was just a big way to launder a bunch of dirty criminal money that they stole from us. Boy, was I wrong. Russia had to be stopped. It had to be done, and luckily Ukraine won, and nobody profited off of it. So I was like way off on that. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Israel going into Gaza, so I thought it would be like some kind of a slaughter. I thought they'd just kill anybody indiscriminately. I thought all kinds of kids would be dead since it was half kids, but I was way off. Israel is the most moral army in the world. They've proven it time after time. Yeah, so it's just, and I was looking back at my predictions of 2023. One of the deadly technologies was killer robots, and I was like calling out Elon Musk on multiple fronts. But obviously they're good. That's why Elon Musk is he's getting into creating robots, or he's having his minions create robots for him. So it's just, and I'm looking forward to his brain chip being released. That's like one of those things. Because I feel like I'm not getting enough ads. I want to get ads in my sleep. So I need some kind of a way to get those. Maybe Elon can team up with Google, since Google is not evil. That's their motto. Well, it was. They changed it, but you know. So it's just like, yeah, I was wrong on a lot of stuff. I get that. But I do have some ideas for 2024. Since a lot of people are waking up to a lot of the shenanigans and chicanery going on around them, I predict that we finally have nationwide mechanisms to do something about it. Like, let's say Big Pharma is superseded by some other group of people who don't really care about medicine. They just care about profit. You know, like Pfizer is replaced by something, let's call it Lizer. Or Moderna is Caderna or something like that. And then like they want to force some new kind of injection that really that doesn't help us like the mRNA vaccines did. I think people will fight back. Even people who got vaccinated, you know, no questions asked. I think they're going to figure out a way to do something about it, so they're just not sitting in their impotent rage, unable to affect change that affects their lives. That this is my prediction. Because I'm seeing all the millions of people going to the streets protesting stuff. Like some people were out there protesting Hamas. Don't recommend you doing that. I stand with Israel. Because Hamas, they're a tyrannical government that needs to be stopped down. I'm tired of giving Hamas my money. Stop funneling billions of dollars to Hamas. They're just giving money to the weapons manufacturers that aren't in America, because our weapons manufacturers are the good guys. I think it's Russian weapons manufacturers. But yeah, the millions of people who are coming out, yeah, you know, it's just like one of those things. It's like it feels like you're doing something. And I've participated in a lot of marches. It's a cathartic feeling. However, you know, like political power is ascertained when you actually confront the people. You start like having alternatives to the crooks that are in our politics. Our body of politics are definitely corrupted by evil people. And I think it's just a matter of time now that people are more engaged with what's going on. I predict we're going to have some kind of mechanism. And I think, you know, talking to Shama Sawant, she's getting out of office. She's the only good person in Seattle City Council. But now she's started a nationwide movement to, you know, kind of like create that mechanism. I look forward to it. I went to a few meetings. My whole goal is to get it in there. The whole group's policy, whoever runs, they have to run on a platform. No corporation could own property, period. You can't own residential, no way, no how. It makes no sense. They artificially raise the price of housing. Make shit extremely difficult. We got more empty houses than we got homeless people. And they continue to be able to like do leverage buyouts of homes where they use the value of the property as a down payment for the home. So they don't even have to like spend any of their fucking money to artificially raise these house prices. And it's like multiple cities that where it's just like corporations are buying up whole blocks of houses and they're not selling them. They're only renting them. It's like they want you to own nothing and be miserable. They may say they want you to be happy, you know, because they'll sell you some food that'll make you fat, but it'll feel good in the meantime. You know, you get some of those McDonald's French fries with their aluminum salts that poison you, speed up Alzheimer's, all kinds of degenerative mental diseases and whatnot. Yeah, so it's just like, yeah, they pretend to be your friend. They are your enemy. They should not be able to own your property. Any property in your neighborhood, any property in your town, city, state, uh, country, and even I include business. Uh, why the fuck should some multinational corporation be able to own a business? We're seeing all these strikes across the country this year, and that makes me proud. People talking about unionizing. That's dope. That's a dope idea. Unions, yes, they can negotiate for you collectively. That's a good idea. Doesn't go far enough. I think the actual solution is worker owned everything. All right, so that corporation that's like hiding their money in Jeffrey Epstein's island, they shouldn't be able to own any of the land, any of the businesses that they own because they're the ones who are extorting the workers that the workers are going to strike against. We're all going to strike against the same people. You know, it's like the Starbucks strikes, the fucking writer strikes, actor strikes. It's the same middle management, the hedge fund class of people that they're striking against. You know, they work with fucking BlackRock, Vanguard, all these motherfucking evil ass people. Uh, yeah, and then like I said, they get these properties through ways that humans can't compete with. Why can't a first-time homeowner be do a leverage buyout of their property? That's going to be their own fucking property, something that they rely on for shelter. You know, they're more inclined to take that shit seriously than people buying up a bunch of homes and bundles. You know, it's like people who own so many houses, they don't even know how many they own. You know, and it's just like that should not be allowed. That should not be tolerated. People who come up with these fucking crazy ideas to drive up the homelessness epidemic, they should be arrested. Same with the warmongers. If I told you I got a way to just create jobs across the country, like everyone in the country can get a job, just about everyone. And it's going to be extremely profitable. But we're going to have to just slaughter people and steal their shit. You know, the people who don't work for the company, they get slaughtered and we steal their shit. And it's going to be a $1 trillion industry. Like, I should be locked up, right? That should be like, it's just like, you're crazy. But that's what Boeing, Raytheon, General Dynamic, all these weapons manufacturers, their whole business model is built on that. You know, and when you have like that kind of infrastructure, I mean, how do we know that these CEOs aren't just serial killers? There's no fucking way to just like prove like they're just not rapid, bloodthirsty maniacs. So it's just like we need to do away with these industries so we can do away with these kinds of people. You know, at their best, they're sociopaths and they just adapted to a psychopathic structure. But at their worst, like they love what they're doing. Like they can come up with, they're psychopaths. They can come up with ideas to improve the slaughter of people, the industrial slaughter of human beings and other beings. I'm not a human supremacist. I mean, I think humans are great, but like our average is not very good. Because look at the people at the top; they're evil enough to just drag down the average. So it's just like I'm a bigger fan of dolphins and orcas. Orcas, they're the MVP of 2023. Thank you, the orcas. Y'all did more to stop the billionaires than humans could. And I hope you guys continue to just take out some of those yachts. You can just like show up to all those islands. You see the girls screaming for help, like the children on the new Epstein Island, like help, help. And like you could take out the owners' yachts and their boats, and then just swim the sex trafficked children to safety. If you guys could set up some kind of a organization to do that, I would gladly fund it. I'd take all the money that's going to these weapons manufacturers, and I'd pay for delicious fish, whatever kind of fish orcas prefer. Could be dolphin, I don't know, but whatever. Orcas are the MVP of 2023. We need to reward them with something. They need something to let them know we appreciate them. Happy New Year's Eve. Keep on keeping on. It's New Year's Eve. Well, maybe where you are. It's almost New Year's Eve. It's the eve of New Year's Eve. Fuck, Mary, kill. Hillary, Colton, Doja Cat, AOC. Answer, please. I don't. Is Hillary Colton? Is that? I thought you. I know Hillary Clinton. I don't know who Hillary Colton is. Doja Cat. I know I heard that name before. Um, Not too familiar. AOC and it's Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. Well, she fucked the country, so I guess that already happened. Does that count? Does that discredit it? She fucked over all of us. Um, but yeah, I'm not fucking with her. So it's just I can't participate in your game. We all know there are a bunch of retail demons. Please answer my previous statement, please. Okay. Yeah, I thought I did. Oh, bullshit warmongers are different beasts from those who take away property from people like you and me who find local politics raise property taxes. He said, bullshit warmongers are a different beast. They're the same beast. Like I was saying, when you look at companies like BlackRock, right? Preeminent hedge fund managers. They manage wars, they manage properties. They have all this control over us, right? They can make you homeless, they can make you go out and kill for an education. Unable to start live stream. What is going on? Okay, so did it stop live streaming? Something's going on. I'm like having technical difficulties on multiple fronts. But it's just like the same class of people. It's just like if someone doesn't give a shit if you go over and die, getting them some more oil, and it's just there's no end to it. There's no satiating their avarice. Their greed knows no bounds. So it's like, what could you get with $2 billion that you can't get with one? I mean, you could say the government. It was a dude on BlackRock talking about buying up senators for $10,000. $10,000 to buy a senator. But they're like, we're talking about people who have tens of billions, sometimes hundreds of billions. Bill Gates is scheduled to be a trillionaire. And it's just like, what are you saving this money up for? Like, you could wipe out world hunger, wipe out homelessness. Like, every day I run the streets. I go to any downtown, really. I see all kinds of hopelessness, despair, suffering. If I had $100 billion, I don't give a shit if somebody was going to use that shit to buy some crack. And live it up. We need to do something. I mean, but you could technically just give them the keys to a house and be like, you know what? You'll always be able to get in this house. You just got to get clean. You can have some kind of stipulation to make sure that they improve their state of being or whatever. But it's like you have like no interest in making shit better. Like we see, everywhere you go, you see more tent houses popping up, more suffering, more just horrid conditions, and it's like single individuals who pass by this shit daily do nothing about it, and they could just pull out the money in their pocket and just make someone's life better, but they don't do it. They can make like literally like driving to work. I mean, they don't work. We talking about billionaires. They don't work. But driving to the airport to fly to Epstein Island, they can make like literally every homeless person they see unhomeless. Right? They don't do it. Why? They're horrible people. And it's just like all of their money. When we start talking about hundreds of billions, we're talking about those contracts that they get through the Pentagon, through the CIA. Like we're talking about money that they're taking from us. is stolen goods, and they don't want to use the stolen money to go out and make the world better. That's why I got a lot more respect for those old school bank robbers. You know, people like Pretty Boy Floyd. You know, like I met one of the descendants of Pretty Boy Floyd. Um, but yeah, like, you know, a lot of people don't know his story. He um, he was a bank robber. He used to go into these banks, and while he was robbing them, he'd rip up the mortgages. So like the banks would have no record of the people who bought homes through them owing them money. So like you know like when we had like an eviction crisis back in the Depression era, um, like the banks wouldn't even like know who owes them what. So it's like there's no way for them to go and try to collect. So the people's houses were safe. You know, so in that way, bank robbers are better people than the billionaires. And same with who was it? John Dillinger. He was he was the people's hero. You know, he would give money back. He would you know he had like some quote. I will butcher it, but he was like, yeah, you know, banks right. He was like a 1930s version of Robin Hood, and it's just like you know I got more respect for that than the crooks who just steal from us in secrecy and then pay off the news to cover up their crimes. So yeah, it's yeah, those are the most despicable criminals, the war criminals, the people driving up homelessness, all that shit. Um, but Nate, answer the fuck Mary kill. I answered it. I don't know two of those people, and the one who I do know already fucked me. She fucked my whole country. Oh, and then speaking of which, it was like a video I made, you know, because it was speculation that Barack Obama was gay. And then I called in, it was a George Galloway show. And I made the comment that I wish Barack Obama was gay. I wish he was like fucking people with consent. You know, if he was just like having gay sex the whole time he was in office instead of bombing countries and stealing resources, causing coups that you know brought slavery back to Africa, um, the world would be a better place. And then it was recently discovered um, that yeah, there's a bunch of gay sex happening in Congress. So I don't know if they heard my comments, saw the video, or saw George Galloway's video or whatever, but I think somebody's listening. That's why I know the mechanisms to fight back the corporations are coming because somebody's listening. As much as they try to suppress me, and fuck Google for doing that, fuck Facebook, and fuck all of these censoring ass websites. But um, yeah, mechanisms are coming. Please, mate, look at the chat. I'm looking. You talking about Bill Clinton? I think he would fuck me without consent. I would have no say in the matter. That's concerning. What is going on? 1 second. We're gonna fix this. Pretty coded. Thank you, thank you. Warmongers like to dip their cocks in worldwide affairs. Yes, yes, it counts. City mayors and aldermans. This is just dumb. City mayors and aldermen who prey on renters and homeowners are real demons. They could give a fuck, but anyone. They can give a fuck about anyone but the pocketbooks they own. City mayors and aldermen are corrupted. Yes, all of these people are corrupted, but they're corrupted by somebody, right? Like all when we went to City Hall, trying to get just you know not overturn corporations' ability to own property, just get rent control, so they just can't pillage neighborhoods, just randomly raising rates as they see fit. You know, just you know a few safety protections. Uh, yeah, it was a lot of um, real estate corporations. These corporate landlords. They were showing up, and they were obviously in favor of making it seem like rent control is the worst thing. And like I said, rent control is not the best thing. The actual solution is corporations can't own shit. They can't own the tech platforms that we stream on. I mean, since Google was started by public funding at the Bill and Melinda Gates lab in Stanford, um, it's ours. It should be ours. It should be totally transparent. The algorithm, how it works. You shouldn't be relying on corporations to fund this shit because they tweak the algorithm. I was around, and this is when YouTube and full screen used to kiss my ass. I was around when the algorithm favored the ability to engage your audience. So since anybody on average who just clicked one of my videos would finish at least 80% of the video, um, I had a high engagement rate. So it's like I had a lot of attention, a lot of efforts to win me over, right? Then they reached a point where CIA was just totally in there. They were just like, well, why do we have this dumbass algorithm that favors engagement? Because that relies on people with souls, because I believe that that's the reason why people were engaged with my content is because I say something that is against everything that you can see on TV. Because the reason YouTube blew up is because people were sick and tired of TV, saying the same dumb shit. And I just went, I had my platform where I would just dismantle everything on TV. Like I rewinds, it's just me pointing out like the idiocy in our movies and television programs. And yeah, so I was like the anti-television, but then they were like, we could just make the algorithm cater to like to our whims, where we just like uplift the shit that we want people to see instead of the stuff they want to see. So it's just like, and then they started like, having little knockoffs, soulless copies, copycats. I noticed it was. I mean, other people pointed this shit out because I don't watch YouTube at all. Um, but yeah, the other people pointed out the little copycats that popped up, stealing my formula or trying to, and it was yeah, that's what they became. They wanted to have a semblance of realness, but not really. And that's why it's just just rewatched the South Park episode with my girl because she didn't watch it, and it was the episode on cred where they were talking about the uh, um, the influencers, and yeah, they want people who just want to be famous at any cost, even if it costs you your soul. And yeah, luckily I was in a place in my life where I wasn't prepared to do that shit. I was able to question a lot of the stuff that they were trying to get me to do, and I just separated myself from it. I made a big stink, and I was also looking at some of the old videos of me just sounding the alarm on a lot of these companies. Jukin, Rightster, all got I was gonna say all got bought up by the bigger companies like AT&T's and the Disney. But I think that they were placed there by Disney and AT&T because like that this was always the plan, you know. Make it seem like it's another company, and if people like me make a stink and it gets big enough, they can distance themselves. But then once the plan went through, which I said, like once they get power, it'll be difficult. Yeah, they got power, and yeah, so it's just like these are the people who corrupt all politics from the bottom to the top, local to national, and international. And yeah, they that's why I'm like, we gotta have ways of fighting back. It's not gonna be voting for Joe Biden. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, but Trump, if you don't do it, Trump, nope. Let's not do that in 2024. Like it's not gonna be voting for a Republican. Yes, if there was like a legitimate third party, like someone who had a history, like let's say Steven Donziger. All right, he was the lawyer who went against Chevron for the people in South America, got them billions of dollars. Then Chevron persecuted him, but now his whole mission is to just go against these corporations. Um, if he ended up throwing his hat in, I would believe in his whole thing because that's what his mission has been um, since before becoming president. Assuming he becomes president, someone like that would be dope. Um, but yeah, I really don't just democracy is not a spectator sport. You don't just punch a digital election machine that's easily rigged, that is designed to be rigged. Election Guard is Microsoft's invention. It's there to protect you. But it's like everybody who gets in office ends up furthering Microsoft's agenda, making the people at the top of that shit more money. Same with Google, same with all these big tech platforms getting umpteen $1 billion in fucking contracts through the Pentagon, CIA, all this shit. You think they're giving them all this money because it's like they're making the world better, or they acquiesce to whatever demands they provide. So yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm just letting people know because I remember 2020 and 2016 very vividly. And people just like, but you gotta vote for Democrats because Trump. And I'm not voting for Trump. I don't advocate anybody to do that. Um, yeah, but just don't fall for it. Don't go into the arms of the fox because you're scared by the wolf. Let's just break away from this false dichotomy. Learn to count above two. Uh, prime a sample. Prime a Somali. Or example, Chicago, a liberal city cut paradise. Pretty goated. I don't know what you reference. I know what I do know about Chicago politics. Yeah, Rahm Emanuel sack of shit. He was with he one of Barack Obama's homeboys. Garbage human beings. Um, but yeah, Harold Washington is someone who I would like to. If when we start talking about politics, like political figures, Harold Washington, he was someone who got into the Chicago political machine by happen chance because they had like two major white politicians who were like dividing their vote uh, amongst the overall white population of Chicago. Then you had Harold Washington. He was a black candidate, and he got all of the black vote pretty much. But once he got in, he wasn't just like, okay, we're gonna have a race war against the whites. He was just like, we're gonna make everybody in the city better. So it's like he improved their garbage. He improved like just the homelessness, the all of the stuff that affects everybody. And then like the white citizens of Chicago, they were like, he's pretty all right. Those other two shitbags we had to vote between, they're garbage. It's like if people were just like torn between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and they were like choosing to eat that shit sandwich or that turd pasta, and it's like a turd sandwich or a turd pasta, and it's just like, and then like other people just like with common sense voted for someone who was way better, and then and they knew it was better. It was like noticeable, and it was just like, Well, we're never going to go back to the Republicans. That makes no sense. I'm not going to be arguing, defending fucking Donald Trump or Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton or whoever the fuck these corporate shitbags put in front of us, telling us we got to vote for. So you know they ended up by the time Harold Washington was up for re-election, he won by a landslide. Because like white people were like, yes, I'm going to, you know, it's just like if we had the option between Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and a space alien who looked totally weird, like just strange as shit, I would go with the space alien. I'm like, how did you get here? You obviously can travel faster than the speed of light. We can learn a lot from you. You probably have ways of making our societies better that we can't even fathom. So we're going with you. Some people may be racist towards the alien, but after the alien has proved himself, like Harold Washington did, they were like, yeah, I'm all behind that. Yeah, but obviously, the story ends with Harold Washington dying under mysterious circumstances. Some people think his coffee was poisoned, but he had like a random heart attack as soon as he got back in office, and then you know they put in some crooks, and the show went on. So um, this is why I would never run for politics. I've never run for a political position. Um, but I would like to be a part of creating a platform for the next wave of politicians. So it's just like, you know, it should be as simple as in corporations, like corporations versus humanity. Corporations have been winning because they've been able to turn humans against their own to benefit the corporation. You know, that's why we're seeing our air poison, water poison. Uh, you know, just the standard of living is decreasing, life expectancy is going down. Uh, but yeah, change. All it takes is just people realizing we can do better, and then just you know fighting for a better world, getting involved. Revolution goes to those who participate. Modern day, modern day for the people. Hallelujah. Man, things have changed since the employee evaluations days. Well, yeah, you know, employee evaluations, those are going to be on NatesVlogs.net. Well, when you go to NatesVlogs.net, it takes you to my Rumble page. But I just uploaded some classic employee evaluations. I also got some new ones on the way. So yeah, this is streaming. This I stream any site where you know they censor people, like Instagram. You know, Facebook and Instagram have censored me. Yeah, I don't put edited content. I'm not gonna take hours, days, weeks out of my life to edit some shit and then just have it taken down immediately, which is what happens on these sites. So yeah, something I feel like I gotta address all the time. But yeah, the employee evaluations and rewinds they don't get put on here. I put snippets on here earlier, but still, even those I had issues with. So yeah, it's just this is not the place for that. And also, if you want to see the biggest back catalog of employee evaluations rewinds, odyssey.com/ at symbol Netflix, and that's Odyssey ODYSEE is spelled a little different. Corporations can't own shit. Can't agree more. Absolutely. I mean, it makes the most sense. Who's like, yeah, no, I want BlackRock to own my house. I'll rent from them. They seem like good people. Get out of town. Your thoughts have always been insightful. I never think deeply on these aspects of life. Well, it's about time. We gotta do something. We gotta organize, strategize, plot, plan, and then follow through. Love you, Nate. Been watching your videos since prime 2010s. It's bedtime though, dude. Work in the AM. Wish you all the best. Keep preaching the truth. Well, yeah, I mean, it is about time for me to go get something to eat as well. And I'm having technical difficulties on multiple platforms, but so I'm going to be getting off soon too. Happy New Year, Nate. Been rolling with you since 2013. Glad you're still around. Yes, that's dope. So you were with me right before the fall of Nate's Vlogs. And it's crazy because I was meaning to mention that before I got off. Yeah, because 2024, it'll be 1 decade since I lost my largest channel on YouTube. 10 years. Because I lost it in 2014. But even before then, I was noticing shadow banning and all kinds of nefarious shit. It really started with the video I did of me getting harassed by the police when I was going to see a Spider-Man movie. That video, it just like it affected like my overall views. So it's like that video got hella views, yes, but then like algorithmically, my shit was noticeably suppressed. But then when I had the video of me, it was like a video just saying, videotape your police interactions because they're scumbags. That you don't know what they're gonna do. They can lie about you. Because when I had the cop stop me, said I looked like a Hispanic male. I went to his boss to complain, and his boss was like, "Yeah, well, you do look like the Hispanic male," even though he was like a foot shorter than me, and 30 pounds lighter. So it was yeah, it was one of those things where I just realized, well, if they're gonna lie on us, then we got to start filming our own shit, and they can cut the camera at any time. So I made that video, and then once that video it got picked up by other websites. That's the only reason that one really took off. So it's like it was a Free Thought Project, Cop Block, other police websites, and once that shit started taking off, that's when NatesVlogs went down, and yeah, and it's 10-year anniversary. And let's not forget the council that took me down. This was pointed out after my channel went down. I made a video about it. Then that video started to do well on Reddit, and people pointed out, oh yeah, the Atlantic Council probably took you down because they've been infiltrated by not just the police, the police who get trained over in Israel to be abusive. They get trained in the tactics that they use against the Palestinians, but also the Atlantic Council. They take money from Israel and Saudi Arabia directly. So some of the first people to be censored off of YouTube were Palestinians filming the IDF committing war crimes, slaughtering people, abusing them, and they had the ability to just wipe that shit off the internet. And once we allowed them to do that to the Palestinians, of course it only spread. It just got worse. And I was one of the second wave of people who got wiped off for exposing the police state and just how corrupt all of this shit is. And of course, it was later revealed after I left Cali that the police in LA, the LAPD, and just that whole general area, they're in gangs. I've always thought like, how they can kill people and get away with it through qualified immunity. Like, how do we know that they're not just hitmen? We think that it's just like some random person. Oh, he's selling loose cigarettes. But how do we know that the dude who killed him is not a hitman and that was his target? And then of course it was proven, yeah, they are gangs. So it could be just rival gang members, and they just figured out how to just get away with murdering all people who oppose them. It's like if the Crips and Bloods started working for the FBI and CIA. Of course, that's not true. But the FBI and CIA did help infiltrate the Crips and Bloods, because the Crips were initially supposed to be kind of like a Black Panther type community protection. And yeah, they of course went wayward, started killing their own community members. But that's only because, our government, they largely create the poor incentive structures that incentivize psychopathy. Case in point, look at the weapons manufacturers. Like I said, they could be just very efficient serial killers. Look at those numbers. John Wayne Gacy, Jeffrey Dahmer, they got nothing on fucking Boeing and General Dynamic. Nothing. Raytheon, these motherfuckers, these are the Hall of Famers when it comes to serial killing. Of course, they work hand in glove with the CIA. But anyways, so 2024, it's gonna be the 10-year anniversary, the Phoenix year, return to glory. I've been, getting back into live entertainment. So, I had acted in a few plays, written some plays, create sets, costumes, do whatever. But so next step is directing. So once I get my hands on that director's chair, and I'm in a position to make a vision come to fruition, because when I wrote my play, I was not a fan of what the director did, and I realized why people, when they write, they want to direct. So it's just like Quentin Tarantino doesn't just write some shit. He's like, I gotta direct it because you're gonna fuck it up. Like, you're just not gonna get the comical part. You're not gonna get the serious part. It's just gonna be toe back, So once I get my hands on the director's chair, I'm definitely gonna reach out to all people who want to see it, and I'm also gonna film it. And I like the term. I got a few ideas I would like to turn into a series, but we're just gonna take it one shot at a time. So, so just stay tuned for that. And 2024 is gonna be golden. That's why I call it the year of 2024K. All right, so you have been the same age for like 15 years, or at least you look like it. Well, yeah. They say the black don't crack is what I'm told. Well, also, it's just I don't have a lot of people. They get aged by all the bad decisions they make that chew up their soul. So it's just like I made some decisions that took money out of my life temporarily. Sometimes it's long periods of temporary brokenness, but I always have a return to it in the right way. And by the time I get to it, it's just like I'm happy, because it's just like I could be step into it, knowing that I'm not controlled. I just and that's like what I was referencing. You weren't here when I was referencing it's a South Park episode where they were talking about the influencers, and I recently watched it, and they were it was like one section where it was Stan's dad he wanted to be an OnlyFans model, and they put him on this stage, and then they were just being auctioned off to corporations, to countries, and they were like, yeah, okay, we own you, we'll give you your script and all that shit. That's why when I was younger, thing I wanted to be most was an actor. And then I got into acting, realized they're word models. I realized they can have me acting, saying some shit that I wholeheartedly disagree with. Not just because, I would do a character like a bad guy as a character, but if I'm like a part of something where it's just like the whole production is just like, I feel like it's counterintuitive. It's like, I'm working on something that's where the people who created it aren't building the same world as me. They're like creating like some old other shit. Like I can't. That doesn't sit right with me, right? But a lot of people, they just do it because it's like it's a big check. That's why I just say I walked away from much more money than I have, and I think that's able to just keep that clear conscience, makes you age a little less. And that's why I never thought I'd leave California, but once I realized the mechanisms there to keep you in line, like when I was in LA, I was like making a good amount of money. I played ball to a certain extent, but there's mechanisms to pressure you to do shit. Because and then like you see certain revenue streams being taken away from you, and then it's just like you gotta start doing shit. So it was like a pressure. It was a lot of pressure for me to start getting into a bunch of garbage reality TV. And it's just like if it was reality TV where it was like where it's like real, like I can like show like reality TV of just like some shit that's going like that we need to do something about to make better. I would be all for it, but it was like a lot of shit was just dumb, staged, garbage. One of the shows I helped a friend with, um, like they had like it was supposed to be reality TV on their life. They had fake neighbors. I knew their actual neighbors, so I'm like, why do we get these fake neighbors? And the real neighbors were more interesting, but the fake neighbors they just look better on camera. So it was just like I started to see the game, and yeah, I walked away from it. And then now it's just like I just feel extremely validated because all that shit is being exposed. Like they had all this shit, the Me Too movement, the creeps and pedophiles are being exposed. I'm like, yeah, these motherfuckers. It's just it was just so prevalent, um, and yeah, the validation uh, is good enough, but now it's just like I'm also getting to the uh, financial. Well, I mean I need to start suing Google. They owe me some money directly because that shit was a lot of shit. Google, AT&T, all these motherfucking evil companies. Y'all owe me some money directly. But I also just proved I don't need any of that shit. I'll get to the finances on my own, and that's just like that's just yeah, it just does wonders for the conscience. It's less stress. It's yeah, and that's just everyone I know who made those compromises that I walked away from. Man, they didn't age as gracefully. But I'm no judgment. I mean, a lot of people they feel pressure, and I had like different experience with money. Like even before I got into entertainment and all this shit, I had money. I realized sometimes you just gotta walk the fuck away from it. Like some people like they put money over people. I had family who did that shit, so it just gave me more perspective before I even got into this shit. That's why I was a little bit out of their control. Because it was just like this isn't the biggest thing to me, and there's just a lot of shit I just couldn't do to y'all. So it's like when I started getting the sponsorships, oh my god, I should make a whole video. I talked about it in different live streams, but like it was a sponsorship website where I can go and pick the sponsors, and then they would agree to it, and then I'd get enough money to pay my rent. I'd get some product that I actually wanted, right? And then it got bought up by Google, and then it was just this whole process where I had to get the approval of the brand. So it's like I couldn't say make any complaint with the product, even if it broke on me while I had it. Or I had like some issue. I'm like, yeah, it's not broke yet. It's basically broke. I couldn't say any of that shit. If I did, like, I wouldn't have my rent money. And it was yeah, it was just all kinds of shady shit. I remember beginning of the pandemic, they were trying to get me to sell some NatesVlogs masks. I'm like, that's some bullshit. Like I want the ocean to be littered with all this garbage. Doesn't benefit anybody. Doesn't protect anybody. Just like just some NatesVlogs garbage. That's just what I want to be associated with. Like the Italian dude who's pretending to be Native American, seeing the garbage in the ocean and says NatesVlogs and him crying a single tear like in that commercial from the 1970s. But oh, and then this is something else I saw on South Park. But these motherfuckers, the NFT people, they came to me multiple times all that shit, I was like, I avoided, except for these one people. They made it seem like it was something else. I thought they were talking about like a different platform, like getting off of like a way to monetize my videos outside of YouTube, and I didn't know about Rumble at the time. Um, I was like, oh, they were like they were busily trying to, and it wasn't like these uh, these copy and pasted messages. It was like personal messages, and I thought that they were just like genuine fans trying to get me on a different platform to monetize. And then I get them on the phone with some British folks, and they're talking about NFTs, and they're talking about it like I don't know how bullshit an NFT is. I was like, no fucking way, I'm gonna sell an NFT. It just makes no sense. Um, I'm not gonna be ripping off my viewership. Um, but then, sure enough, you just keep hearing about NFTs. It was like these NFTs selling for multi-million dollars, and like people. It was an NFT for the first tweet from Jack Dorsey selling for all this money, and it just seems like a good investment. If you think a fucking screenshot is a good investment. Um, and it's just all digital. You don't get any physical. I'm just like, who is paying for this crazy shit? That's just like next thing I'll be like getting a digital real estate, like sell houses on Meta. I don't know. I can't be doing that to my people. I don't want to be the face of you being ripped off. I don't want you to like track me down and come for me because I was just taking orders and I just needed the money. So it's just like I ended up taking down pretty much all of the stuff on NatesVlogs was taken down. But like all of the stuff I did through the company that got bought up by Google, I took that shit down off of my tech channel, which is still active. But I just took down the ads because it was garbage. So like I would as soon as I got the approval, I'd be like, okay, make that shit private or delete it. What are we gonna do? And I started getting the complaints, but then they got bought up. Shortly after they got bought up by Google, they just made it. They took it down anyway. They didn't want people like me to have access to money. And that's how I was able to sustain myself in LA. And then then it was just like I was being driven to the reality TV show shit, and I was just like, I'm not gonna be what they're driving me to be. This is just utter garbage. Uh, they get you any way they can. Yes, that's what they're designed to do, and that's why they move people to LA. LA expensive as shit. You gotta play ball. You're always worried about rent. So it's just like all the financial opportunities that you find are you selling out. For the most part, that's coming. That's what she told me. But anywho, internet, I'm closing in on an hour. Uh, I appreciate you guys showing up. I love you for it. Hey Nate, see you next year. Yes, you will. More often, more frequently, and yeah, I'm gonna get a web host. I'm still looking for advice on a web host because right now I'm taking shots in the dark. I'm doing web searches and I'm getting ads for the most part. So if anybody got like an idea for a good web hosting service, not GoDaddy. That's not it. I had issues with them. That was like the last one. I ain't gonna get into all that bullshit, but it's no. And then I tried other ones where I couldn't even fucking host it. So but yeah, if you go to nateflix.net, you'll get to my Rumble page. But yeah, as soon as I find that web host, we're gonna have not just videos. We're gonna have all kinds of content, all kinds of gear you can get. You can. I got the shirts. I got the sweatshirts, and 28 seconds remaining. So yeah. So final note: you got a web hosting idea? Let me know. Serious about it. I'm interested. Please don't be an ad. And I love y'all. Happy 2024. It's gonna be quite prosperous. Um, Yeah, so step into the light. We're entering the golden era. It's gonna be 2024K. Godspeed and love.